Do we expect any more administrative cuts? I know that was something in the past you've talked about. Yes, and timelines on those?
Same thing.
Same thing, just ongoing.
Same timeline. Same timeline. We're looking at making this next round of cuts, by early fall.
Okay.
And so we've already got a number of things in mind, and of course we've done some reorganization. I think there'll be some more administrative reorganization to streamline and downsize and create a more efficient operation.
Speaking of reorganizations, one of the things Dr. Olson, the provost, sent out a note to the campus talking about, of course, Walt Wolf has done an outstanding job of being the interim leader for, the interim dean of students, and now he's, of course, I think, facing retirement, and so Dr. Olson talked about now putting another interim dean in, so you don't have that mid-year switch because of Walt's retirement. And I don't know who this is, John Ferndon of Winona State University. That's the person who has been proposed to be the interim dean of students. Who is that? I guess maybe for folks who's not familiar with him.
Well, he's currently the dean of students or vice president for student affairs at Winona State University, and he is retiring. And my understanding is that he'd be willing to come here for a year. My understanding is he would not be a candidate for the position, but he'd come here. And I think this is typical across the country right now in terms of trying to do national searches and not being able to fill a number of positions. We've had a number of failed searches, and the searches are mainly, I think, failing because it's a heck of a difficult time to have people move and sell their homes and take a new position. So we're not getting the best pool of candidates for the dean level positions.
And that is one of the questions that was emailed to me from a listener. Why is MSU unable to compete for top candidates in these key positions like Dean of the College of Business, Allied Health and Nursing, VP of Planning, Dean of Students, etc.? And I guess you kind of answered it there, and we're just not getting the pool of people because they don't want to move, it sounds like.
Well, I think that's one of the factors, and it's probably a pretty big factor. It ties right into the economic downturn here in the U.S.
Okay.
And until that turns around, I don't think we're going to see the kind of mobility that we once saw in higher ed administrative positions.
And we all know that you, once upon a time, were a candidate for the presidency of NDSU, North Dakota State University. And, of course, that is... you are staying here, and you are very proud to be part of Minnesota State University Mankato. I know.
This is my home.
Absolutely, and you've been here since, what, 2000?
Yeah, well, I've been here since 2002.
2002, okay.
Flattered that other universities are pursuing me, but this is where I plan to stay. And,
I think folks who don't understand higher ed, that is pretty common in higher ed for other folks to look around just to, it's part of the system and how it works.
Yes, it is. It's very common.
As far as another question I got is about 7,700 France, and we've talked about this before, and I know that you've talked about the 3-year, I guess, I don't know if it's probation or what you call it, to, break even, that kind of thing. And it was a faculty member said, from reading the recent Faculty Association minutes, there seems to be some concern about 7,700 France with respect to hiring of adjunct faculty members, quality of program, and following policies for program development. What is the status of 7,700 France, and is it viable in meeting its goals?
Well, it certainly is viable, and I think we're off to a good start. I understand that since we started the program at 7,700 France, we have about 1,500 students there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I think we're going to continue to see enrollment increase. In regards to the use of faculty, adjunct versus regular faculty, there's always negotiations going on with the departments and with the administration, and we'll work through all of the issues and questions that we have. We do have union and bargaining contracts that we have to adhere to, and there's very, very clear language on who we hire and for what positions, and then the rights and responsibilities of the faculty and also of the administration. And those are the kind of issues that we're working through in order to make sure that we can staff the programs. We certainly don't want to offer programs and then not be able to provide the staffing for them. So this is a work in progress. It's going to be very successful. I have no doubt about that. But we need the faculty to work with us, and they've been very, very cooperative at this point.
Hasn't there been recent talk about expanding further into the Twin Cities market?
There's been some discussion about it. There's hardly a month that goes by where we're not asked to offer our programs somewhere else in the Twin Cities, maybe at another 2-year college campus, or at some business corporate level on site. This is just part of what we do with our extended learning program. The other thing I want to mention is that online learning is an area where I expect that we'll really step up our efforts. And there are some students that simply can't drive to Mankato,
right,
which is one of the reasons why we offer the program in the cities. But students from all over the state can take online, or anywhere for that matter, can take online courses. So I think you're going to see with our faculty involvement, an increase in online education.
And I know that's one of the things that the governor has talked about, wanting to see more online education and that using technology. So
I don't think the answer, though, I think the governor has set a very high level for online education. I don't think the answer to serving all the students is doing online education. I don't believe.
I think you lose. I mean, personally, I think you lose that personal touch and interaction by just doing it online and not having that face to face.
Well, that social part that takes place in the classroom is lost. But let's face it, some students simply can't come to a campus to get the degree that they want. So the best they can do, and especially with families and working often, is to do an online program or to take a program up at 7700 France. But online education and the quality of it can be very, very good. I just don't philosophically believe that every program can be delivered with quality and excellence online. There are some programs that just take engineering as an example. You need to be your equipment intensive programs. You need the labs. You need that exposure. Now, it depends on the engineering program. If it's a general engineering program, you might be able to, but if it's electrical or mechanical, it's very, very difficult to deliver those online.
It's hard to do your chemistry experiments online,
and
too.
Chemistry is another great
example. You probably
example.
couldn't get a hold of that arsenic or cyanide or whatever you use in your own
No.
your own home.
But if we're delivering a chemistry program at a 2-year college and they have a chemistry lab,
sure,
we could do that.
Good. We are talking with Dr. Richard Davenport. We have a few more minutes with him. He is the president here at Minnesota State University Mankato, and I got a couple more questions that I have emailed to me, but if you have one you're dying to ask, do it right now, 389-5678 or 1-800-456-7810. This is a thoughtful question or from a listener. It says, actually it's a faculty, from your convocation speech in August till now, what 3 things have been accomplished during this time that you feel very, I guess, proud of here at Minnesota State University? Some of the 3 big main things you've accomplished after having your convocation speech and obviously pointing out your strategic plans for the year.
Well, I've already talked about budget,
right,
and we spent a lot of time talking about that at my convocation speech.
Yes.
The other thing that I'm just amazed at, given the difficult year we've had trying to address all those budget issues, is that we've moved forward with our new strategic plan. And we had 5 different committees, ad hoc groups made up of representatives from the campus, students as well, and they've moved forward and they've completed the first phases that were essential. I was hoping that would happen, but I didn't think, given the fact that we got started a little bit late, that they would get it done, and I'm just really, really pleased with that. I think the other area, as we move forward with our graduate education and promotion of sponsored research and grants, I think we've probably had the best year ever is what's being forecast in terms of grants and contracts. That's very, very successful. Our graduate enrollment is up. Overall enrollment looks very, very positive. Enrollment management was an important part of what we wanted to accomplish this year. Now, we're not growing as fast as some of the 2-year colleges, which have increases as much as 20% this year, but we are showing good signs of an enrollment increase this coming fall. So I will be spending a lot of time with the faculty and administration and students talking about the next steps in enrollment management, in retention, as we finalize our budget plans and as we move forward with our strategic priorities. That will be a major focus as we move to the next level starting next year. So
And we're at nearly 15,000 students now. Are you anticipating quite a bit greater attendance or enrollment?
I would hope so. I know the admissions numbers are up from last year. So that's very exciting. What we don't know and can't know is what the retention will be. We won't know that until the fall. But if we maintain the kind of retention level that we have been, I would say the numbers are going to be over 15,000.
And you think with all the cuts we've had, we can handle that? I think that's a concern I hear students express a lot.
Well, I think the provost has done a marvelous job working with the deans and department chairs and others to make sure that students can get the classes that they want and that they need. And that's our first job, is taking care of the instruction on this campus and making sure that that students have options. And while the classes might be larger, and there may not be as many sections to choose from, our goal is to help these students to make steady progress and not be delayed in their graduation plans.
We are out of time, and I want to thank you for your time, Dr. Davenport. I appreciate you coming in, and we look forward to seeing you at the commencement this Saturday, of course, with our 1,800 students here at Minnesota State graduating.
Well, thank you. Can I just say one more thing?
Absolutely.
I'll put a plug in. I don't know if we have time.
Go right ahead.
But I want to congratulate Don Larson.
Yes, our movie reviewer,
yes.
And now he's no longer going to be with us because he has a new job.
He's still tied to the university, but he has been elected as president of the interfaculty organization, and it's a 2-year term that begins July 1. He's currently vice president of the interfaculty organization and president of our own faculty association, and we're just so proud of his accomplishments and know that he'll represent all of the campuses equally well. But we're proud that he's moved up and stepped up to such a high level of leadership
and
position.
Of course, we always appreciate, he's one of our regular callers when we have these live call-in shows with you, Dr. Davenport. And you know why he didn't call today?
He didn't call.
No, because he's in visiting his son in Turkey.
Well, that's a good enough reason.
That's so, see, because usually I could expect, because he wants to make sure things are clarified and that kind of thing, and he's always got, thoughtful questions and that sort of thing. But yeah, congratulations to him. We certainly will miss him.
And Karen, I just want to say to you, by the way, you do such a good job of running this program. I know the calls are just coming in like crazy. We can't get all the calls on because we have so much to talk about. And on my list, I didn't even get through half of the things. So there's a lot going on, and I appreciate your hosting this show. And
a lot of the things that are on our list to talk about, we talk about in our news shows, so we've covered them. It's just you haven't had a chance to talk about them yourself. But
we'll get around to it.
It's good news stuff, yeah. And we appreciate your time again, and we'll see you at graduation.
All right. Thanks, Karen.
Yep, take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.